Let's go through the stages I went through to paint this portrait from this photo. The lighting is coming from all over the place and the background is very distracting. However, I thought maybe I could pull off a good portrait from it anyway. I also felt a colorful background might help, so using Photoshop, I substituted this background and attempted to make the warm and cool light sources more apparent as I painted, even though the overall lighting was pretty even. You'll be the judge of how this all worked out. I decided to do this painting on the smooth surface of a gray gessoed masonite board. As usual, I projected the photo onto the surface and traced it for a really accurate foundation, and then laid down the darkest element in the painting, which was the hair. I also threw in a suggestion of a cool blue reflection on the left side of the face to establish the feeling of a cool light coming in from a possible window. Next came a first coat of paint for that bright white shirt. Since oil paint is somewhat transparent, I knew it would take at least 2 coats to completely cover the gray of the board, so I wanted to get it down early. You'll notice there are a few subtle warm and cool shadows to help give the feeling of both warm and cool light in the room. The face was next with a thin wash of the colors and values that are close to what I could see in the photo. I didn't want to go for the darkest dark and the lightest light values yet, only the approximate difference from one shape to the next. I say to myself, is the right cheek darker or lighter than the nostril where it meets the nose, and by how much? Is the front of the cheek darker or lighter than the side of the cheek as it goes back to the ear? I do this all over the face as I rough in a thin wash of paint. Next came more work on that great hairdo, and a little color on the background so I had something to relate to. I had a lot of fun with the twists and turns in the hair, but I also kept checking to see that the overall values were consistent, so that one side of his head didn't get darker or lighter than the other side. I didn't care about the color yet, only some values. You'll notice that since the background colors were light, it made the face look darker. I didn't like that. Now came the really fun part. I began laying in thicker paint on the top part of the face to bring all the shapes up closer to their final values. I didn't try to get everything perfect yet, just close. I knew I'd be coming back again later to refine everything and make all the relationships on the entire painting work together. When I finished the face, I threw in some darker colors on the background. Notice how that made the face look brighter. I liked that effect. But all these new colors looked too busy and were pulling my attention away from the face itself. Easy to fix. A plain, simple, rich, dark, warm background would solve both problems. It made the background less distracting and made the face look brighter. Since everything was now covered, I could start working over the entire painting to bring it all together as I mentioned earlier. Of course, this was a quick and kind of simplistic description of the stages of this painting, but it shows how I plan and work every painting I do. I first work on the larger areas and keep refining the shapes in the smaller and smaller areas. Then I go back and refine the entire painting as one big unified statement. I also have a new website now at this address, irvrudley.com, that you should check on. It's a lot simpler than the old one, and there are some paintings that didn't get uploaded onto the old site either. But don't forget to have fun painting.